People were asking me in my last video how come I didn't do any sweet cestus parries. Well, the reason is cestus parries in an invasion are typically a bad idea, because if you mess it up, you take all kinds of damage, your stamina's gone, and you just sit there and die. Plus, they look dumb as all hell. The only time a cestus parry, I feel like, is deserved is when the weapon you're parrying also looks dumb as all hell. Like the Theron greatsword, that's fair to cestus parry, just because everything about it, all of it, is so stupid. So it's the Great Hammer. That's the class I've never played with before in a video. Here it is. Spiked Mace. So what makes Spiked Mace, or, you know, Great Hammers good in general? Damage. What's the other thing that makes them good? They have excellent poise health. So what's great about that is you can trade with pretty much anything. They require the least amount of poise for trades. Whereas a greatsword requires an incredible amount of poise to poise through even another greatsword. The Great Hammer class doesn't require nearly that much to poise through a greatsword. It doesn't require much more than that to get through an ultra greatsword. It's pretty easy to tell when you're fighting another ultra great weapon, or a great weapon. It's pretty easy to tell what you're going to be able to poise through and what you're not. As long as it's not, you know, Smo's hammer, Leto's hammer, or the Great Club, you should be alright. And then take a look at what your opponent's wearing, and that'll give you some idea of how long they can sustain those trades. Now, we had a little bit of a theme going there with ultimate verticality. The hammer's great, but gravity keeps claiming our kills, which is fine. Those are some of my favorite kind of kills. When you knock somebody off the fucking world, and you can say to that person, "Get off my level, boy." Now the Spiked Mace, on top of doing really good damage, it's also got an auxiliary bleed effect that you can increase with Carthus Rouge, should you choose. What I do is not that. I just hit you with a damn hammer. I will say a really good backup weapon to this, though, is the barbed straight sword. I think I maybe use it once in this entire video, but that's a really good weapon to pair this with, because it doesn't have very many requirements, and it's still going to help you proc bleed, which is nice. Don't expect bleed to do a lot, even in invasions, which are more drawn out. You're still not going to bleed people out a lot. But that's fine, just don't rely on it, don't count on it. Just expect it to be, just expect to have, like, you know, a nice little bonus every once in a while. That's what bleed is it's a nice little bonus. Now if you slapped Carthus Rouge on this thing, I imagine it'd probably be pretty good. And I'm sure people in the comments are saying, well, you know, with 116 luck on a bleed infusion, this thing's pretty good. But at +6 with 30 strength on a heavy infusion, this thing's also pretty good. Gravity, just doing the damn job. This man here, this is his entry in worst internet connection of all time. He sent me his tape. I said it looks pretty good, but I need to see you in person. Let's see what you got. And so we arranged to meet up here. And as you can tell, his internet connection is pretty up there, and so far as really bad ones are concerned. He's playing on that Windstream 3 megabyte connection. and he went ahead and he used Wi-Fi just to make sure it was, you know, perfect. It's actually the laundromat next door. It's their Wi-Fi. He just steals it. He knows the password because he hooks the laundromat attendant up with meth in exchange for the Wi-Fi password. So the R1 weapon art, R1 true combo. That's the big selling point of this hammer. A lot of weapons have that, and it does do banana damage. Gravity. As you saw in this invasion, it will just straight wipe a low vigor phantom off of the face of this earth, which is pretty nice. Now, you've also got the R1 jump attack true combo, I believe. And then, you know, just your regular R1, R1. The weapon art is kind of nice for people that want to spin around and try and like circle you. But it does leave you open if you go for the whole weapon art. So you've got to be wary of that. Wary, not weary. But as you can see, a 626 damage combo, that is nothing to scoff at. And that host is, I assume, wearing like Prisoner's Chains, Ring of Favor, probably +3. I assume he's pretty twinked out. Because his friends here, they've gone ahead and see, it's actually pretty sad. This host, he grew up in a van. And because when he was born, his parents were like, we can't love this thing. It's too ugly. So his parents just left it in a van. And inside that van, there was an old Arby's Big Beef and Cheddar. And that sandwich was really old, and it attracted maggots. And those maggots started to just lay eggs everywhere they could. And they crawled inside of his anus, and they just started laying eggs non-stop. He's constantly scratching at his anus, and then he has to smell it. He picks the scabs off of his anus, and the pus gets on his fingertips, and he has to like smell it. It's a compulsion he has. He keeps paper towel, and he like if you cut yourself shaving, he puts the paper towels on the scabs, and then he just rolls it up and eats it. But these phantoms here, they're about to take the kick gambit. That is a big gambit. If you mess up that kick, you're donezo. But if you hit the kick and everything works out, you get to kill 2 phantoms. So that's exactly the kind of invasion. It was rough going at the beginning, you know. So that's the exactly kind of.
Gillium! Call the Arby's and ask about the mayonnaise. It's made with the magnet eggs from inside the fish.
No, wait. We're still here. Okay, it's fine. It's fine.
It's not fine. It's just the largest disconnect ever. Gillium! How long does it take? Just exit the game, you fucker! Then pull out the eggs, and then make the mayonnaise for Arby's inside the van from whence they came!
And that's so. The kind of invasion where you're going to try that sort of thing is in a dangerous invasion where verticality, where there's already a lot on, you know what I mean? I'd already lost so much Estus. You might as well go for the big gamble and see if it pays off. And it did pay off. Now, one of the big drawing factors of any ultra weapon is the fact that you can hit multiple people with it, especially in tight, narrow corridors and what have yous. These things are brutal for the turn and burns. Because you have all that combo potential and you can constantly be, you know, mixing stuff up, these things get nasty quick. You can see I'm sort of over relying on trades. But in the end, it works out. Did ever someone told you, fuck you? Sometimes it's hard, actually, going from, like, a poise weapon to, like, another build. Just because you get so used to relying on trades and making trades that, like, you can forget about spacing sometimes. You know what I mean? Sometimes I have to remind myself, like, no, wait, space this attack out. don't just, you know, don't just be a meathead. But it's so satisfying to be a meathead sometimes. There you can see the poise health. Nothing was going to stop us from swinging that hammer. The poise health on these hammers is just absolutely ridiculous. Now, you can see I've stuck with the heavy cestus, and I've still got the rope firebombs. I'm still using those tactics. I'm not sure they came in, you know, like the invasions I chose to make this video, I think were the most, like, fun and interesting ones out of all the footage I gathered. I'm still using that stuff. I know I probably haven't featured it a lot in this video, but I am still using it. I am still finding, like, a lot of success with it. That heavy cestus +6 is nasty, dude. Just being able to punch somebody. I did get parried, though, quite a bit by a couple different opponents. So you do have to sort of respect the parry shields because the swing speed on this hammer is so slow. It's really easy to parry. Now, of course, two-handed, that's not an issue at all. Except on the running R1 and the rolling R1. But I wouldn't rely a lot on the rolling R1, and the running R1 I would only use in this situation, where you're, like, sneaking up on somebody. The chase down on this weapon, obviously not very good. It's ultra, you know what I mean? It's an ultra weapon. It's super heavy. It's got a super slow attack. So don't expect it to be something, you know, that you can chase people down with. But this thing is great hammer, so it is the king of trades. That's for damn sure. All them R1s. Damn. And this thing is an absolute, like, there are some weapons that are slow, and people say, well, they're super slow. They're only slow if you see them. Like, that guy just got hit off camera, you know what I mean? He wasn't looking at me. So when he took that R1, that was it, you know what I mean? It's pretty nasty. There are probably hammers that do more damage, but I'm not sure they're as stylish as this one. It's just such a good-looking hammer. Let's just take a moment to appreciate it. Alright, so we've gone over a lot of the what I like about the weapon. Let's talk about what's not so great. It's the slowest weapon class, I think, in the game. There are some people who are going to be really, really good about not getting hit. If you thought hitting people with an Ultra Greatsword was hard, just wait till you try hitting those same people with a hammer. Unlike the Great Club, this thing does not have an R2 that allows you to mix crazy timings into your attacks. It doesn't have anything. The Great Club R2 has, like, that insane range. This doesn't have anything like that. So what you see is what you get. You're basically going to be relying on trades. So if you're not getting trades, it might be time to swap to a different weapon. Like I said, the barbed straight sword pairs really well with this thing, in my opinion. But I mean, you know, use whatever you want. So those trades you're looking for, When somebody whips out the straight sword, they're easy to come by. And hey, you guys, always remember, if you kill an overleveled phantom, you got to get the most out of their soul count. You know, so make sure you're doing this. You get the most out of them. There you go. They're gonna come to the fight with all those fucking souls. I'm gonna take them. But yeah, the hammer is severely lacking in the try-hard department. In the invasions department, it's fine. You can trick people into getting hit by it. You can do all kinds of stuff. You can throw in the cestus. You know, you can go one-handed. You can go two-handed. Change your timings up. But when it comes to just having a straight-up duel with someone who wants to play super passive, it's tough to hit them with the hammer. Now you can use some of the tricks and stuff we talked about in the last video, but I would also add this to the list of pros. Hammers don't require a whole hell of a lot of poise to get through, so maybe consider ultra hammers on a lighter build, and not just necessarily your poise build. Anyway, I'm done. Hope it helped. Later, y'all.